Hey guys, welcome back. I'm just continuing the prep on the Nasty Mando. Pretty excited. Some really good parts just showed up over the weekend. I'm not going to tell you what those are yet. It's going to be a surprise, but super pumped. Got some great companies I'm working with that are helping me out in the prep, and some new modifications and just general parts we're going to put on the Nasty Mando. Front axle is almost back together. I'm addressing some wheel stud issues I had. A lot of you out there that have Kingpin 60s probably know what I'm talking about. They have a really short lug stud and nobody makes a direct replacement, so you got to do a little bit of a trickery to get a longer stud there. So we're going to try to make that happen and pull the transfer case tonight. I've been dragging my feet on that a little bit, but it's got to get done, so let's get after it. Guys, you can see here on the right is the new wheel studs I just put in, and those are a Dorman part number 610283. Save that. They are just a tad bigger, so you can see they are a 9/16 stud versus the 1/2 inch, and they're a little over an 1/8 inch taller. I don't know if you can tell in the video, but size matters. What an idiot! At least that's what I've been told. So we're gonna get these swapped out in this guy so we can get a little bit more bite on the lug nut. All right guys, we've got the wheel studs in. I've got some bearings to clean up. My little trusty helper Rooster, who creates more of a mess than he does help. And we're gonna get these bearings repacked, cleaned up, repacked, get the hub assemblies back on, slugs back in, get the calipers back on, then hop to the other side. After that, I got the engine oil and tranny oil draining right now. So once those are done, I'm gonna put a new transpan gasket back on, and then get everything sealed back up, get some fresh fluids back in this girl, and on to the next task. All right guys, it's late. I'm tired, gotta get up early for work tomorrow. I just took about half a quart of ATF straight to the eyeball.
I got the poo on me.
Felt great, really woke me up. Felt good in this hot weather. But got the, both axles are put back together. Slugs are back on in the front. Got both diff covers RTV'd and sealed, so I'll get some oil in those tomorrow. Give them a final torque. Tranny pan's off, transfer case is almost unbolted and ready to pull. As far as drivetrain, that's about it. Got the both drive lines front and rear off. They're gonna go down to my buddy Kevin at KM Driveline in Modesto. Shout out to Kevin, he's helped me out big time. Gonna make me some spare shafts and give these babies a once over and make sure they're ready to rock and roll for the party. He's in Modesto, California. Great guy, great drive lines. Call him if you need a driveline. All right guys, got most of the prep done on the Jeepster. Been battling some hydro boost issues for quite a while now. I think I've narrowed it down to getting 2 bad hydro boosts in a row from O'Reilly's. So I just ordered one from AutoZone. We'll see if that fixes my problem. If not, I'm gonna dig a little bit deeper into that. But now I got all my tools and parts and stuff out. I'm getting it all organized, as you can see. Box after box after box. Trying to figure out what I'm gonna keep in the Jeepster, what I'm gonna keep back at camp or in the truck, what parts I need to keep with me, just kind of the important stuff. Some of the bigger items I'm probably gonna keep at the truck. So I'm just kind of sorting through that. Made a mount on in the back of the Jeep to mount my Milwaukee packouts. Keep some parts in there just to keep it simple. And that's about where I'm at. We're gonna have us a celebratory beer because we finally got our brakes fixed. And let me tell you, it's been hell getting there. I think I went through my own 24-hour hell and back every night for the last 3 months working on this damn thing, trying to figure out the brakes. So my first booster went out. I was at Rubicon and my pedal didn't want to return, and I went through the whole brake system, went through the whole steering system, tested everything, steering box, steering ram, bypassed the hydro boost, and basically zeroed it out to the hydro boost. So I replaced it. The first replacement I got, hydro boost number 2, every time, right when I put it on, every time you turn the steering wheel, the brakes would go down to the floor. Bad hydro boost out of the box. So took it back to O'Reilly's, got a second one, which is now the third hydro boost on the Jeep. And same thing, get it on, and right when you fire up the Jeep, the pedal goes straight to the floor. It was fine when you steer it, but it just sucked the brakes down. So I got a third, which makes for hydro boost number 4 on the Jeep. Well, it's on there now. And finally we have brakes. But right when I got this one on, same thing, was having some issues. My pedal didn't want to return all the way. And I was just going crazy. I'm like, what the hell? This is my 4th hydro boost. What is going on? Keep in mind, this is part number for part number, identical hydro boost. This is a hydro boost off a late 90s Astro van. Nothing special, nothing fancy at all. And I finally figured out some differences in these things now that I kind of could get 2 of them next to each other, because the first one I had to take to give back to get my reimbursement. And so I went to AutoZone for the last one and kept this one. I'm gonna go return it to O'Reilly's, but I wanted to be able to see the differences in the 2. So the first thing I noticed between all 4 is the return nipple that comes out of here. All 4 of them were different sizes. The first one I had was a tiny, tiny little hole. Second and third were a little bit larger, and then the 4th was smaller than the last 2, but I ended up drilling it out, making it as big as I possibly could without chewing into the threads. That helped a little bit, but my pedal still didn't want to return, so I started digging a little bit further and found out that the push rod distance from here to this surface here was different. And on the first hydro boost, I had to run a washer on this surface to push my master cylinder out because my brakes were dragging. So I took those washers off, got this mated up. It got better, but still wasn't great. And then I looked at the push rod on this side coming out of this thing, and keep in mind I had to cut and thread these to go to my brake pedal to fit the clevis. But the distance, basically on this little silver piece here, I don't know if you can see it, but that holds that the push rod presses into, that mics out at a different measurement as well. So there's a lot of adjustment there, a lot of adjustment here, kind of just all over this thing. But keep in mind, these things are the same part number. I shouldn't have had to check all of that stuff. I should have been able to grab one out of the box, put it in my Jeep, bolt everything up, and go down the road. That was not the case. I've gone through, like I said, night after night of hell trying to figure this thing out. So we finally got it figured out. Brakes are working great. The pedal is returning great, returning all the way. Super pumped about that. So this is probably gonna be the end of this video. My next video is gonna be exciting. We're gonna start doing all the modifications to the Jeep, all the fluid change, maintenance, all that's done. So we're gonna start on all the upgrades. I was able to get teamed up with some great sponsors for the event. They're hooking me up with a lot of great parts, some accessories for the Jeep, tires and wheels for the Jeep, and yeah, I can't wait. So next video, we're gonna start putting on the goodies, and I'll see you guys then. Make sure to like and subscribe so you don't miss the video. Thanks, guys.